Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the 2024 BMW X5 xDrive50e. Huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this plug-in hybrid for me today. Take a look at their website, that link is down in the description. This X5 is finished off in dravit gray metallic. MSRP is just over $84,000, and this is powered by the 3-liter twin power turbo inline 6 paired to that hybrid electric system along with the 8-speed automatic transmission, pumping out 483 horsepower, 516 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent through the xDrive all-wheel drive system, propelling this 5,500-pound SUV from 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. Top speed is 140. This also has a fuel capacity of 18.2 gallons. You'll expect to see around 58 miles per gallon combined between the engine and the hybrid system, and up to 40 miles alone just on the EV system. This has a wheelbase of 117.1 inches. Its overall length is 194.3. It has a width of 78.9 and a height of 69.1 inches. As we move on to the exterior styling now for this X5, let's start off with all of the black accents that are up front. So for the kidney grille, the entire surround is finished off in a matte black finish. And then this also has the active grille shutters. So those will open and close the back section there just to provide even more cooling and better airflow. There's a forward-facing camera, and then a lot of gloss black in the lower section. There's all the parking sensors, a forward sensor, and plenty more cutouts to provide even more cooling, along with the inlets on both sides for better airflow. Now this also has LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals with a very nice dark housing and some nice lines that run down the hood. Gives it a very sporty appearance with those contoured lines. And as we work our way to the side, this has a set of 21-inch wheels with that 5 Y-spoke design along with the blue M Sport brake calipers. Now this also features regenerative braking, of course being the plug-in hybrid. Really nice wheel color though with this dravit gray. Now there's a trim piece just behind that tire with electrified by the I logo there. And then this has body colored side mirrors. They are power folding, have a turn signal and a camera. Full moonroof is up top, more gloss black for the roof racks as well as all the window trim. And very nice lines that run down the side. Really nice side skirts that have a contoured edge to them. And then that line that goes all the way to the back taillight. Now this also has a body colored spoiler with the third brake light, gloss black on both sides of the glass with the wiper blade in the lower section. Has a really nice dark housing for these LED taillights and turn signals, backup camera with all these sensors, and then the dual exhaust with some darker gray that separates the diffuser there, which is also body colored of course. And now you can remote start this, simply just triple tap on the lock button, and then you can triple tap on that again to shut this off as needed. And even though this is a plug-in hybrid, it can still tow right around 6,000 pounds. So it's still very capable. Now you can also use the button on the key fob or the one underneath to open up the split liftgate design. Now at the bottom on the left side, this is how you can lower it. The one on the right will actually lower the back of the vehicle. So if you need even a lower load height, you can push on that to do that. The one on the left will just open that up if you need to gain better access. Now the X5 surprisingly has a lot of space in the back. There's also a little bit more storage underneath the floor where you have the charging cable that you can access. You can even put the cover, which is located right there, down below if you need to get that out of the way. You can fold the back seats down too to give yourself that much more interior space. There's a 12-volt and some grocery hooks on both sides. Now you can also just push on one button up top and that will close both of these. That top right button is how you can lock the vehicle as well. So it makes it very convenient for that split design. Now, once we enter the back, we have the beautiful tan interior paired with this exterior color. There's two-tone on the door panel with that black leather. This has an adjustable sunshade, Harman Kardon sound system. There's some nice wood trim just above that speaker, interior ambient lighting, and a little bit more storage. And then that beautiful design for these seats. We're at 5'10". I have a good amount of space. There's storage pockets, there's an area where you can hook up your tablet and charge it as needed. Air vents are in the middle, and then we have all the climate adjustments, a little bit of storage with some auxiliaries located down below. Now again, 5'10", I have around 2 or 3 inches above my head. Very spacious in the back. You could easily fit full-size adults back here as well. Now right in the middle for the armrest, there's a little bit of storage underneath the back of it. And then you have 2 cup holders in the front if you need to use those. And this middle seat also folds down by itself. So if you have some larger items that you need to place through, you have the option to do that, as well as having a lot of visibility for your passengers in the back. Now as we work our way to the driver door panel, this has memory seating adjustments, all of the window controls, side mirror adjustments, that rear liftgate release. Everything else is the same, even a fuel cap release is located down below. Now also over on the driver's side, this is how you can plug this in. Simply just push on that, we have our hookup, and the gas fill up is on the passenger back corner there. And then there's the M badge down below, which is an illuminating badge. And we have the front seats that are automatic, even with the leg support that you can adjust, which is the only manual option for that seat. Now as we take a look at the M steering wheel, it's finished off in solid leather. Cruise control settings are on the left side. Right side you get volume along with tuning, and then Bluetooth and voice commands, paddle shifters as well. But let's fire this up so we can go over the rest of this information. As you just heard, I think it starts up in the electric system. And from there, we can go over the gauge cluster here, where currently you can see miles per hour on the left side. Right side, there's power along with the adaptive setting, and you have some fixed information running across the lower section, fuel level on the far left, battery level on the far right. Now, if I push this button right in the middle on the right side, now we can scroll through some various content that you can pull up within that center screen. So you can even pull up the nav, you have a G-force meter, you can pull up your audio as well. And then if I scroll over to layout, now we have a little bit different of a view, just depending on how you'd like to see this information. So it's really nice to see that. Last one is for the head-up display. So there's a few different settings. We have standard view, which is miles per hour and speed limit. Directional adds a compass. Sport view adds the tach. And then reduced view is back to the miles per hour. So it's a very nice system to have, not overcomplicated. It gives you what you need. Now on the left side, a little bit of storage down below, all the headlight controls. Leather covers the entire dash. And then right in the middle for this infotainment system, if I go to the home setting, you have a lot that you can go through on this left side without changing the nav, which is currently set up. So it's really nice to be able to scroll through all of this. And then also at the bottom, you can get into your phone, get into a bunch of apps like Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, even go into the charging app. So you can go through all this information and configure it as needed. So you have a lot that you can go through. If we go back to home, you can also go into the climates to adjust all this information, get into the heated and ventilated seats. And then there's also a shortcut to the nav and music. So really easy system to go through. Temperature is on both sides and everything in the lower section is always fixed. Now there's 2 air vents underneath that, power and volume and tuning. And then down below, underneath this cover, there's wireless charging with a little bit of storage, 2 cup holders and some auxiliaries. And if I close this up, really nice finish for this interior. Now you can also use all of these controls to further go through that screen. So you don't just have to use it as a touchscreen system, just depending on what you're doing for the day. And then to put this into reverse, we'll push that all the way forwards, where we have that top-down view on the right side along with some shortcuts. And then you can also go through the various camera angles, just depending on the visibility that you need for the day. 360 camera is very easy to use. And then if I put this into drive now, we have that forward-facing camera that we can gain access to. If I do that one more time, that's how you can go into the paddle shifters. Not sure if you just heard, but the vehicle just started up with the gas, so we were in EV this whole time. And then park is located at the back, where it just shut off back into the EV mode. Now there's traction control, parking sensors. If I push on this button right here, this is for the hybrid system. So you can go to hybrid or battery hold, just depending on the driving that you're doing. And there's also a few different driving modes. So we have sport mode, we have hybrid to utilize the gas and the EV, and then pure electric mode to use that as needed. There's downhill assist, auto hold, and the e-brake, and this even has the adaptive suspension, so you can raise and lower the vehicle depending on the terrain that you are in. We have a good bit of storage space in the center armrest with that split design, and then plenty more room in the glove box, along with the X5 badge just above that. Now up top we have all of the dome lights as well as the controls for that sunshade and the sunroof itself. And as far as visibility goes, it's very easy to see over both shoulders. So you definitely have a lot of glass and a lot of visibility for the X5. As we set off now behind the wheel for this xDrive50e, this is actually the very first time I have driven the plug-in hybrid version for this X5. We review a lot of X5s. I was just in an M60i, but I have yet to be in this plug-in hybrid. So I think this is really cool because I'm a huge fan of the plug-in hybrid systems. I like power like the M60i and what that has to offer, but I do like the hybrid technology. I think it's the best of both worlds when you compare it to strictly ICE vehicles versus EV vehicles. I think it's a really good blend because the EV tech is just not quite there yet. And having the hybrid system allows you to run in EV mode like I'm doing right now. We have almost a full 40 miles of range for the EV system right now, and we don't have as much range on the gas. So I'm able to utilize the EV system until I need to get to a gas station, or even if I was full, just using the EV system as it sits. But if we put it into sport mode now we have the engine and the hybrid system. Wow, that's quick. It's not as quick as the M60i, but for this, that was very impressive to see. Let's do it from second gear again here. Wow. You literally have the best of both worlds. Now, if I put it back into the EV system just by itself, I think you do have to be in drive. Okay, it won't let you use the paddles in EV. So if I use them, we are back into sport mode. So now that we're in the EV setting, this is pedal to the floor, and it's what you'd expect. Not fast at all, very not there. It doesn't have a lot of horsepower or torque for just the EV system, but it's really nice for city driving, maybe in parking lot situations, but it's also beneficial for highway speeds too. I'm not sure the exact miles per hour, but once you hit a certain miles per hour, let's say 60, maybe 65 miles an hour, that EV system will kick in to help its efficiency, which is why this can get around 58 miles per gallon combined with the hybrid and the gas system. So it's incredibly fuel efficient, but it's also not slow either. So for $85,000, I can see this being justifiable with the tech that it has. I think the hybrid system is the best, like I mentioned, and so for 85 grand, it's maybe on a little bit of the higher end. You can get some other hybrids that are less expensive, but with BMW, you are getting what you pay for as far as the luxury features that you get, the refinements that you get from this BMW. Even with this semi-passing, you didn't even hear that. It's so well insulated and refined in this that it's going to be a great daily driver and one that's going to get really good MPG. So honestly, it's the best of everything, being a hybrid, being a BMW, and one that you can drive every day. And with it in sport mode and second gear, here we go. I am so amazed at the performance from this 3-liter inline 6. With that hybrid system pushing over 500 pound-feet of torque, you pretty much have that instantly when you give this gas. And we have the range now for the gas just popped up for 50 miles, but we still have almost 40 on the EV system. So combined, we're close to about 90 miles. So even though we need to fill up and we kind of need to charge, we still have a really good healthy range in order to find a gas station, to get home wherever you may be, which is one thing that I love about this hybrid technology, because you can utilize both at the same time. You can save one, just use the other. We have regenerative braking to help charge that EV system, or plug it in, of course, at your house. You can get a 240 fast charger for your house. You can go to charging stations and get a little bit of juice in it if you need to. But it's not something that you have to charge all the time since you have gas. So if you're going to remote areas that may not even have a charger, you can run the battery to 0 miles and then just fill up until you get back home or back to normal life, where you may have a lot more chargers if you even need to use one. So I think it is really cool technology for $85K. It's really not abnormal for what you're getting either. For this BMW X5, it's in the range of other X5 models. You just get that hybrid system which is a cool benefit. So quick when you combined everything and have it in sport mode. Now, in order to go into electric, like I said, you have to be in drive. You cannot use the paddles. Here we go, full throttle. And it's what you'd expect. That really wasn't anything at all. But when you combine them, that's where you really get a lot of that torque working everything together, which is awesome to see. But driving this X5, like every other X5, very refined feeling, comfortable. I don't really have any complaints with this. If anything, it's a really good option if you want that hybrid system versus just having strictly an EV vehicle. And you still have plenty of space. There's nothing compromised with this being the E model. Everything in the back seat, cargo space, everything is what you would expect. So you're not really sacrificing anything. And I think it's a really cool option to go with. But that's going to wrap it up for this 2024 BMW X5 xDrive50e. Once again, huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this for me today. Check out their website. Also give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and smash that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.